I disapprove of what you say, but I will, to the death, defend your right to say it. A statement that rightly summarizes the principle that Voltaire lived by. A Frenchman, a prominent Enlightenment thinker of the West, a period when ideas like justice, liberty, freedom, free speech started coming up into people's minds and in public discussions for the first time for the West. Freedom of speech. A phrase that keeps coming up in every debate, every discussion, every newsroom argument, and it's very hard not to talk about such a thing that is so core to human beings. Being able to express ourselves freely, openly, without any external pressure. Not being told by anybody what to think, what not to think, what to say, what not to say, who to think good about, who to think bad about, who to appreciate and who to criticize. Because it is our natural right, it is our God-given right. Free speech. Human beings literally spend most of their life, around 50% of their life communicating. And this cannot be under assault. I keep hearing the same phrase again and again. I don't even know from how many different people I've heard the same phrases of free speech is under attack, it is under assault. And today, we have to take the time to look at the situation. I am not gonna judge the motive, the intention of the people who are making talks on free speech. But if there's one thing that is crystal clear in this situation is that free speech is absolutely core to human beings and it is just invaluable for us. And the reason why, if you've ever thought, why do we even need free speech? I guess the job is done very well by an Englishman, J.S. Mill, John Stuart Mill, in his work on liberty. J.S. Mill, in the simplest words possible, said that when ideas come to people's mind, groundbreaking ideas, they usually come to just one person's mind. It is not a collective thing. It's just one person. And we do not know who that person would be. Could be part of the majority group, could be part of the minority group, could be part of the elite group, could be part of the non-elite group. We don't know. The person's unidentified. And if we do not make sure that the last person in the room and the last person in that remote village feels that their ideas would be heard and that they have the right to opine, they wouldn't come up with these ideas. These ideas would be lost. Something that could have changed the course of the entire history. And that way, we as a society would be doing a great disservice to ourselves. We'd be hurting our own civilization. John Stuart Mill. And when such a topic or idea comes under question, I guess it is very easy to do something. I'm not a free speech absolutist, but I understand exactly the temptation that there is to become one. Because free speech absolutists would say that we shouldn't have any laws, any regulations related to speech whatsoever. Free speech is supposed to be a no-law zone. So just to take an extreme example, let's say somebody comes up to you and starts ranting in your face. What would be your response? Do you get them charged? Do you take the matter to the court? No. Free speech absolutists would argue you shouldn't do that. The one thing that you can do, though, is reverse rant. So you say your piece and I say my piece because both of us, we have the right to speak, right? And even though the idea is not the most perfect idea that we have seen, people do construe the concept of free speech in this way. There are people who take it to the extreme ends, and we can name online bullies and trolls in this case. They think that I'm going to speak my mind, write whatever I want to write, bad stuff, no substance whatsoever, because I have the right to speak. And this is actually very telling for this generation, for our generation. Our generations has had the privilege of something like free speech. The previous generations didn't. And the previous generations, we've had pioneers that broke the path, that broke the circle. And so when I say pioneers, people always applied free speech to get to the goals. And yes, the users of the service of free speech have to be in good faith. People like Mahatma Gandhi, they thought differently from the society. And they spoke. They distributed their knowledge and ideas to people, and hence the course of history took a turn. We wouldn't have this world the way we see it today had Mahatma Gandhi been made to shut up, had Nelson Mandela been made to shut up, had free speech not existed in any form. Free speech, once again, is absolutely core to what human beings are all about. 50% of our lives we spend communicating. 50%. And so this entire talk is meant for this one little appeal that I want to make. This is my appeal to us, the individuals of this era. Free speech is invaluable, something that cannot be substituted, something that is indispensable to our lives, to our human beings. And so we have to make sure that we use it willfully, wisely, and principally, because we have to make sure free speech is here to stay, not just for us, for the generations to come.